darlings, welcome to another broadcast of The Curious Mind of Raquel Corta. I am your favorite mermaid mystic. I love it because me being called the mermaid mystic, I think, was very, very fitting. It sort of took the notion and the idea because Neville Goddard, this is who I'm channeling today, and I thought that it would be really, really fun to do so, right? Because he's really, really such a mentor to me. Always called the Mad Mystic of 47th Street or 45th Street. 47th Street, I can't remember exactly, but he was called the Mad Mystic. And I always loved that because I thought that was so esoteric, But what better, fitting, more precise and beautiful notion than to take on these particular little attributes from our dearly beloved Neville Goddard. So what I wanted to do was channel Neville Goddard and see what he thinks, because now there has been a resurgence of teachings and his books coming back to the forefront. Within probably, it's become really, really popular within the last, I would say, probably 5-6 years. I mean, he's been around forever, right? But like a resurgence of his work, his books and literature and all of that. And I really, really love Neville because I was able to, this was the thing, is that for many, many years, after I had my first spiritual awakening, right, and I left religion and Christianity and all of that. Mind you, I always say that, and people are like, oh, you're not a Christian. Yeah, I'm actually of Christ consciousness. This is what I am because I feel as though I know the truth now, right? Would listen to Abraham Hicks, really, really, and don't get me wrong, really lovely work and everything, but it was still from a scarcity lack mindset. I know that in the sense that channeling source or Abraham, which is who she calls it, very, very lovely, love her work, okay, the work of Abraham, but I feel as though it's just very limiting to me because I got to the point to where in my life and in my spiritual journey, my spiritual voyage, there always came a point to where I couldn't get any further. I could manifest certain things, but I couldn't manifest other things. I was always limited. There was always still something that kept me from penetrating, almost as if it was this bubble, you know what I mean? And I still had that perception that there was, rather than it being a universe or God or source or the collective or divine intelligence, still has felt as though there was someone external, still outside of me. Obviously, that is because when you're raised in religion, first of all, if you're raised in religion, you take on the aspects and the attributes that you understand of your belief system and how you were raised as a child, okay? So even though you learn about manifestation, unless you continually go forward in your spiritual voyage, you will never, you're going to cap off, because if you're listening to someone outside of you, okay, this is what the biggest message from Neville is today, is that if you're still looking at someone outside of you, so say, for example, people will listen to Abraham Hicks and they'll just go on this timeline of never rising above that, okay? And so they become, once again, creating this idol, which is Abraham or Esther Hicks, okay? So they put all of their energy into that and they can't understand why. Okay, so I've been listening to Abraham for like 20 years, and it feels good. It's a very feel-good thing. But if you cannot rise above that mindset of the belief system that you are God, you are Jesus, you are the I am, okay, which is your wonderful human imagination, you're not going to still be able to manifest other things. It's not going to happen because your belief system is still tied into this religious notion that there is someone of supreme being above you. You are not God. There's the universe becomes daddy. You know what I mean? Which I like to call Neville. I always tease because I say Daddy Neville, And that's what happens with people in the spiritual realm. They listen to law of attraction. And this is why they can't supersede, they can't progress forward any more than, that's not to say that they don't manifest. Like, that might work really, really well for you, but I'm just telling you from my perspective. You don't have to believe me, and just like Neville would always say, don't believe me, test it. Just test it for yourself, okay? And this is basically the fish's net that I like to call it, which catches you in this full net of manifestation, and why you can't seem to get out of it. It seems to loop round. And this is why also I created and founded the alchemy of mermaidology, because it's an entire system. Like, there's nothing like it in the world. I'm telling you, this was God sent. This was directly from source. And I had been working on this for like 20 years, saying I had that idea 20 years ago when I was 20 plus years, maybe it was like 30 something years ago, because it was when I was 23, I think, is when I first had the vision of it. Till then, you see what I'm saying? I was on this path, and I never seemed to get too far off the path. You know what I mean? When it forked, I would always go to the same thing that felt comfortable. And so that's the reason most people, and so I'm here to help you in the true essence of Neville's work, because there's so many people that just, they cherry pick Neville's work. They found something that works for them, but there's still this lack and scarcity mindset, and their life path no longer is the love of the work in helping mankind for us to alter the entire world, transforming, helping to be that particular purpose, and having that purpose as a person that will help transform the universe, okay? As a collective, it becomes about how much money can I get? How much money can I make? How much coaching can I do, so that I mentioned there, how much money can I make? How much money do I need to make? Because I've got to make quota this month. I still got mortgage to pay. You know what I mean? I got mortgage this month, and listen, that's no fault. I'm not saying that people are wrong for asking for money, because you deserve money. You actually deserve way more money than people will say. If people believe spiritually that, oh, you don't deserve money because you're a spiritual worker, this is just a scarcity mindset. This is a belief system that they've got, or they've had their entire life from upbringing and believing that there's only enough pie to go around. And I'm the kind of person, just as Neville was, not only is there a piece of pie for you, each and every person, there's an entire pie for you, of the people that believe that it's so. And until you can come out of that rat race, you're never going to manifest in the way that you desire to manifest. This is the problem, okay? So I just shared a reel and a short on YouTube about not listening to celebrities, because this is the danger in it, is because they're doing these quick sound bites, okay? And this is what they do, because it's more about selling something, selling this particular person, this actor, actress, whatever. And they know through whether it's their PR, talent agency, their, whatever it is, put out these sound bites of, oh, manifestation's the new thing, so let's get you on board too. That's not to say that they're not manifesting. Everyone manifests. But what I'm telling you is, I would never listen to a celebrity unless they have been through the trenches, unless they have really, it's the same as this. It's like, for example, listen to me more so than you would listen to anyone else. If oh, well, my son or my daughter was brutally murdered, you would listen to me knowing how to heal that, because I've experienced that, right? So if I've manifested certain things, I'm not just telling you, on a whim, well, this is how you do it. But I've never given you proof that I've done anything. I just kind of keep of, how you really manifest. I would tell you exactly everything, how to do it, what happens when something arises and why that's arising. I mean, I'm going to give you the nuts and bolts of it. Do you understand? Same thing with manifesting. So that's the reason I really love Neville, is because he gave you exactly how you're supposed to do it. Feeling is the secret. Learning and understanding, that was a very big thing, especially you think about the fact that Neville started his work when he was in his early 20s, okay? And this was during, before World War II. And this is in the 1920s, okay? Darlings, this was a different era completely. And can you imagine what a revolutionary notion to be able to start telling people in religion, in Christianity, okay? Because I think he was a Protestant. I think he grew up as a Protestant, okay? 20s, he's telling you, no, the Bible is metaphoric. Jesus was a metaphor. You will never look in the Bible. You will never find a description of exactly how Jesus Christ looked as a human being. People can tell you, oh, well, I saw a vision and this, but in the work of the King James Version Bible or anywhere else in any doctrine whatsoever, there is never a physical notion of people saying and describing him as a person. And why is this? It's because it's a psychological metaphor, the Christ within. Okay, you are Christ, I am Christ. You are God, I am God. Okay, no, there's not little gods running around, not little Jesuses running around. That's not what I'm talking about. Okay, there is one whole. It's 3 in 1. Do you understand? You have Christ, Jesus, and the Spirit. Okay, this is a metaphor for your consciousness, for consciousness. Okay, everything is transpiring as I am. I am. That is your wonderful human imagination. And so that's going to take very strong people, myself included, to be able to teach this law and unwind everything that most Christian people that now want to go on this spiritual sojourn, okay? Because it's going to take very strong personalities, because the first thing that people are going to do is want you to shut down. They don't want to hear what you're saying because I'm stoning them. Do you understand? It wasn't literally in the Bible when people are like, oh, he was stoned to death. Stoned to death means that I'm telling you facts. I'm stoning you with the truth. And most often people can't hear the truth. So that's what that means. It does not literally mean stone. But the way that it was written, the way that the people collectively got together, these masculines, they wanted to uproot everything of what it really, really meant, because they needed to keep control of the people, okay? The commoner, the unintelligent person, okay? This was the way to control things. So now we're in the age of Aquarius, and Christ consciousness is full bloom, honey. This is why you see everyone, you see celebrities, you see the whole aspect of portions of the kingdom that are rising from the ashes. It's like a phoenix rising. And this is the Christ consciousness, the age of Aquarius. And it will reign for 1,000 years, okay? And this is why spirituality is very, very popular right now. And you're going to see many people, especially in the spiritual community, because all the masks will begin to fall. If you haven't been doing the work and you've been saying the right things and you've been masking the truth, you've been trying to do it, the surefire way to figure out if someone's screwing you or feeding you a line of baloney and they're full of nonsense on stilts is you're going to know by the fruit that they bear, okay? And not only that, if they are asking you constantly, not wanting to give you a lot. Now, that's not to say that you can't. Obviously, I receive money from my channels. I receive money and ad revenue from my YouTube channel. It's my work, and Spirit compensates me for that. But I'm never going to get on there and plead and beg and do all these programs that are just astronomical in price, because I'm trying to convince people like, now I need you, because then they're in balance there. Do you understand? When you're putting a spiritual teacher on a pedestal, like, you're not even supposed to put me on a pedestal. I'm no different than you. I'm just sharing a message that, I might know a little something. And I know a lot, you know what I mean? And it's there for the message to be there. But I'm not going to, do all of these things that are going to try and drive traffic and do this. And I'm going to videos just to keep putting them out because I want to make money. No, I'm not doing that. That is the essence of my entire life, of recognizing the people that are vipers, okay? They're snakes. And I learned this, especially religion, okay? Because if you realize people, they're giving, but to a degree. Long as they'll do certain things in order for you to give them money. Okay, and so when someone starts asking for money, do you understand? Within reason, you know what I mean? What I'm talking about is I'm calling out all these spiritual people that are just asking for coaching, and it's like, oh yeah, 250. Okay, really? 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 Is that what it's all about? It's ridiculous to me. And this is one thing that Neville and I are very similar. And I don't know if it's because I'm a Pisces, he was a Pisces, and Abraham also. See, she does Esther charges for Abraham Hicks cruises and things like that, to make up. Yeah, you have to compensate for, it costs money to, like I said, like me to have a retreat at Chinsigat Hill. It costs money to reserve that, to do all of that stuff. And I try to do most of it where I can write it off, or how it's going into a nonprofit. It's a nonprofit. So I'm making enough. I don't care as long as I have food, and I've got my cute little clothes that I can make my own dresses and all of that. I have a house. I manifested a free house, a free estate, a free trust. The universe will take care of those people that are honestly for the purpose of the work. And that's not to say, I understand that there's, just means, Raquel, you have a negative mindset about money. No, I don't. No. You look at my bank accounts. I don't have a negative mindset about it. Did it take me a long time to get there? Yeah, because of belief system. Okay, but I was bound and determined I'm going to take the long road. It's going to be the long road because I'm not selling out. I'm not going to sell out for the work just because I find something. It's just you hitch on to that, and then it's, that's why I'm calling out these spiritual teachers. They're asking $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 for coaching. And it's like, but you're emailing and you're just, that's really? For one thing, you have all the answers inside of you. You don't even need me, really. I might spark something and help you because we're all here to help one another. But yeah, I will begin calling out, I might not do it personally and name people, because I'm not a vengeful person. I just want you to just recognize if it feels weird in your gut, your solar plexus is telling you something, you might not want to do that. And these people will reveal themselves because they're going to have tower moments to where their lives will crumble down upon them if they have not done the long work. If they're spiritual bypassing and just, if you become irritated, or they become irritated because you ask them an extra thing and they're like, yeah, well, that's another $150. It's like, are you in it for the work or are you in it for the money? Because you feel like kind of like a pastor. Because I've seen some of these people and I'm just like, wow, that's really, really, how inauthentic. And you can sense it. You can sense their energy. It smells putrid. It smells of, like I always say, the odor of grave robbing, because that's what it is. And your spirit and your gut will tell you. You don't need me to tell you that. But if that's what it comes down to, and my throat chakra's open, I'm going to, because I know what that feels like, to be disrespected and treated like crap. And it's like, you're no better than me. In fact, I probably can manifest better than you, and you've got a bigger platform than me. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, we're going to get on with it, because I really do believe I know what Neville would like for us to know. And so let me get comfortable, and we're going to see what Mr. Goddard, Daddy Goddard, Daddy Neville has to say about what his message is. Okie dokie. All right. Okay, so the first thing that's coming in from Neville is, once again, I'm going back to the I am for people. He really wants people to remember that okay, so I can hear him saying, you very much want to remember one of the key elements, Raquel, that you should tell them is, if there is money involved, okay, and it seems like a ridiculous amount, or it seems very inauthentic, that you need to run for the hills, okay? Because I'm being reminded that I remember a long time ago, this is years and years ago, I remember reading about Neville talking about, like when people would ask him to manifest for them, right? He didn't do channeling, but he did, people would call him and give him, because I've read many of his lectures and I've read all of his books several times. And he would talk about, in some of the lectures, about how people, like prominent people, okay, they didn't want anyone to know that they would go and seek guidance and counsel from Neville. And he would very much always say, no, you're not going to give me money. And he would not take money, but he would manifest for you. Now, the beautiful thing about Neville was that he lived off of the fortune. Now, see, his brother, his oldest brother, was the one that manifested the entire, like, the fortune for the family, okay? And so all of the family got a portion of the fortune. So Neville, once he became very, very prominent in his genre, in his expertise of being a spiritual leader and a mystic, right? It was basically word of mouth, but he had a fortune. He lived on that fortune. Now, people would donate as sort of like, think of it like this, because he did do it sometimes in churches, but it was not, he wasn't preaching, he was lecturing, okay? So he was a lecturer, as an orator, do you understand? And so they would give donations. And so there are oftentimes, he had very prominent people, I mean, aristocrats, very dignified people, celebrities, and of that stature that would come to him, to his personal home and his flat and or his penthouse and things in New York. And he would take counsel on the phone as well. And so these people would donate to Neville, but he never asked for money. So this is the difference. So it's not saying that you can't, but when you begin asking for, it wasn't like he just assumed, and just passed a plate around at the church or wherever he was giving a lecture. And so, and they would just slip him an envelope or send him this or send him that in the mail, in the post, because they appreciated him so much. And they were very influential. Majority of the way that Neville lived was off of his own family's fortune. There was a trust, and many of the children got a certain amount of, several $1 million. And this is how he lived. And so he didn't need to do that. And this is also what I've been doing, living off of my own things, whereas yes, I do sell my channels because I do feel as though this is my gift to the world. And if I can help heal people just through, speaking to, your family member or as someone that wants to come in to help you to heal, to move forward and progress and become happy, because so I'm feeling very much Neville saying that is what it's all about, is heaven is on earth, heaven is within, and it is that man may be happy and take joy. Well, taking joy is where I get that from Tasha Tudor, but yeah, he's saying being joyful, Raquel. Yes, being joyful is the main thing. To remember not to put anyone above you. What we need to do is resurrect ourselves and understand that the entire cycle of Christianity it's not a playbook in a physical way of living life. You can reverse, you can change things, you can become the greatest version of yourself. You can turn back time. Yes, you can. You can revise things. You can start anew. What else, Neville? What else, Neville? Okay, so I'm hearing him, it's the pulling back the veil. Okay, to understand that we need more people talking descriptively about, okay, thank you, Neville. Descriptively about the scriptures, because it's been so wrongly placed, Neville. Okay, been wrongly pursued and comprehended and understood. It's misunderstood, Raquel. It's misunderstood. And so we need more people like you, Raquel, and more people of that same lineage. Yeah, because I'm feeling like he's saying, yes, there is a lineage of people that are destined or meant to have that DNA, that have the DNA, Neville. Yeah, okay, so I'm hearing, yeah, like it's an imprint. It's an imprint of these particular people that will need to, okay, here I'm hearing have the fortitude to bring this knowledge forward because it is it's a big job. Okay, I'm hearing, yeah, it's a very big job, a very big undertaking because it is going to, well, is that going to be difficult though? Or are we in a different time period now, Neville? Yeah, it's very much an easier way of acclamation. People will receive it more, but there's still this division. Okay, I'm hearing the division still. Yeah, okay, because okay, so I'm hearing it's because people are so strong-willed in the sense of no, this is how it is because I was born and raised this way and this is how. Oh, are you saying it's because it's very Americans are more uh stalwart in their belief systems? Oh, okay. So are you saying that other countries are more lenient and more understanding? Not all countries. Some are even way worse than America. But like say for example, okay, okay, thank you, Neville. Okay, so he's saying, he came from Barbados, which is like the British Isles, and it's more freely learned in that way, the spirituality aspect of things. There's less, so it's very, oh, it's hardened because I feel there's this great division there. Either you're very spiritual or or you're very much like the other side, the other spectrum, that you're very Christian and very into your beliefs and no one's changing you and this is how it has been for 300 years and this is how it's going to remain. Yeah, very very strong-willed. Okay, but I'm seeing axle. I'm seeing an axle on a vehicle, like on a wheel, that the axle's changing. It's shifting. Yeah. Okay. Because I'm feeling it's going to turn itself on its head. Yeah. Why did I do this though? Because I'm hearing like a weeble wobble. Weeble wobble. Why am I hearing that? Like the little weeble wobbles that they would go like this. Oh, okay. So now I'm seeing the ones those little China things, or I think they're like from Denmark or something, and you put one doll and then you put another doll and then another and then another, and it gets smaller and smaller and smaller. That's what I'm seeing. I don't know what they're called, but oh, because okay, he's showing me layers. This is layers that it needs to be broken down. Oh, in simple format. Yeah, palatable. People need to be under. Oh, okay. Thank you, Neville. Thank you. People need to be able to understand. If you're going to tell them about manifesting and you're going to tell people about Neville's work and you don't explain in depth, but it has to be where the common person can understand. This is why people that have come out of religion, and then are teaching spirituality are very, very influential because they know the ins and outs of structured religion, so they can use it in comparison to understanding how can I in layman terms explain this to someone that will be, yeah, easy to receive. Thank you, Neville. Thank you. Okay, anything else? If you hear that in the background, that's my cottage bunny. Okay, so I'm hearing also, yes, you need to remember, everyone needs to remember that you are a sovereign being, that you are a free being, and no one is above you, no one is below you. You are the God of your reality. And so when you learn to understand that you are the God of your reality within you, that you don't need to listen to other people. Your guidance system is telling you what to do. If you will listen to it, you need to go inward. Yeah, because I'm hearing him say people just need to understand the value that they hold, that they are all gods, that you are God. And so then you would be less likely, you'll realize the more that you come to love yourself, because everything is within you, that you will no longer seek the external validation, the external love, the external listening to other people, putting other people on a pedestal. Idolatry. Oh, okay. Thank you, Neville. Because I'm seeing a cross, and I'm seeing people use idolatry. You don't think that you're doing it. People don't think that they're doing it in Christianity, but they're literally idolizing a cross. They're idolizing this person in a picture frame. They're idolizing a church. They're idolizing a prophet. They're idolizing that pastor. They're idolizing their family or the husband that's the head of the household. They're idolizing these. This is idolatry at its finest, but people don't want to see it that way, especially people that are Christians, that this is the form of idolatry, and you don't need to do that. All of the answers lie within you. Oh, okay, thank you, Neville. That hit me in the heart really, really strongly. Okay, so I'm feeling very much like Neville said, this is all. The message is complete. Thank you. And then, as Neville would say, let us go into the silence. Thank you.